here, so we can make any claims we want.
Okay, so we have our first viewer.
Yeah,
when your wife joins.
My wife is watching it. We'll wait. The chat will start going.
Yeah, I probably just got a notification. Dive Talks live.
There you go.
Something like that. Yes, Dive Talk is live from Germany.
Yep. What's up? All right, so people started showing up. I know it wasn't planned. We just figured we would hit go live and start answering questions. I also wanted to point out the fact Woody sent me a picture earlier today because we were in Saudi Arabia for a conference that we were invited to speak at, and then because I was coming to Germany and he's going back home, he's actually flying. I flew at 9 a.m. this morning local time, and then he's flying at 10 p.m. so he had a whole day. So he sent me a picture and said, like, missing you, but the pictures don't really match what he was saying. So I responded back and I'm like, oh yeah, you guys, and then he said, by the way, I found a co-host. So that's how much he misses me. He already replaced me. So I figured, there you go, we have a new co-host.
Yeah, hi.
and we'll answer some questions. How far north in Germany? Hi from the far north. Welcome to Europe. Yukon Sean is guiding at the silo. That's awesome. Hello from St. Thomas. I'm pretty sure St. Thomas is way better weather.
Yeah.
Than here.
Most probably.
Bad swells. Had to skip the dive. Hello from Hamburg. Okay. Nice ISC. Yeah.
True.
Good morning. Welcome to Germany. All right. Awesome. So yeah, let's take advantage of the fact that Akim is here from Inner Space Explorers. And also from, I guess, Dive Talk Go. Akim is our Dive Talk Go ambassador, instructor, also leads the service center here in Europe. So all of you who are going to start diving the Go, if you need to do any work on them, maintenance, etc., he's going to be working on that. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, drop me a message.
See. You guys are in Germany? Yep, we are in Germany. Well, I am. Woody's in Saudi Arabia still.
Are you con?
Yeah. Terry seems to be here as well. Tell us about your new co-host qualifications. How about you go in?
That's probably Michael Myers.
Yeah, you should.
Asking.
You should introduce yourself in case I haven't seen Inner Space Explorer.
Yeah, in case you haven't seen me yet, diving for a couple of years. I'm an instructor and running Inner Space Explorers, and yeah. I was a KISS diver for a while and became a Go diver recently. Love the unit. Did actually quite a lot of hours in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And will try to be the Go person in Europe.
Awesome. Well, you're not trying to be. You are the Go person in Europe. That's for sure, but
we're not sure about the qualifications yet, right?
So here's the first question. Is streamlining really that important for good trim? One of my favorite parts of diving is attaching all my gear to my BCD. What do you think?
Well, it depends how much gear you have. But I mean, generally, streamlining not necessarily means good trim, right? I mean, you can be streamlined but still dive like a seahorse. So it's two different things. But I mean, good streamlining means less effort in the water, which means a more pleasurable dive, and you can focus more on good body position, which then leads to good trim. So it's all these things together. It's streamlining, trim, and buoyancy. I mean,
yeah, and it's so amazing too, like how much it helps with gas consumption.
Yes.
Like we just did this dive last week, and it was an hour and 3 minutes dive to like 20 meters or so. It was like 20 to 30. It wasn't super deep, and I came up with, I think I had 110 bar left after an hour and 3 minutes. So it's just amazing how, if you are so streamlined, and we were doing like penetrations at this wreck called the Iona wreck in Saudi Arabia, it's just so much easier to just kick once and just slide, you know? So let's see. I don't know what he's saying.
She's saying I'm missing the pink touch for the co-host.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sorry,
It's not gonna happen.
Woody's no longer a host. He kicked me out earlier today, so this is payback. All right, let's see. What else? Somebody sent me a message on Facebook. Robin. All right, I'll check it out later. What are you drinking? I was drinking coffee, but it's done. Woody got abducted by octopus? No, he's just living his best life in Saudi Arabia. Let's see, what other questions? I can see you live. All right, so I don't know if we should talk about boat show, by the way.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, so let's talk about. Do we have any plans to visit Netherlands after boat show? No, unfortunately not in this trip. I do want to go to Netherlands though. I love Netherlands.
Next time.
Yeah. So the plans is we're gonna be. By the way, the booth that we're gonna be at, where the Go is gonna be. So if you want to see the Go in person, come and check it out at boat show. What do they do? Like the company that we're gonna
Tauchernet
Yeah.
is an online platform. I think one of the biggest scuba diving online platforms, and so they basically have the biggest booth in the show. So it's huge, and they basically host a lot of small companies and individual people that represent themselves. And they said, hey, if you're there, come to our booth and we'll give you some space. So
Nice.
last Friday, last Saturday of the show, so that's 24th and 25th,
Yeah.
we will be there, and you'll find us on Saturday. We have the
We have a
stage.
talk, right?
Yeah,
Like at noon, something
at
like
noon,
that?
yeah, at the stage. But if you're at the show, you will see the announcement on all these papers that are in every hall when who's the speaker at what time at the main stage. And but it is around noon. I'm pretty sure it is actually at noon. And otherwise, you find it at the Tauchernet booth.
Yeah. Don't be late though, because it's like 15 minutes. Like we have a really small window.
Yeah,
So if you
10,
show up
15
late to the
minutes, yeah.
talk, it's
Yeah.
like you'll miss it. All right, let's see what else. What kind of hat would Woody wear in Saudi Arabia? Good question.
Camel.
Yeah. No, he was wearing his dive talk hat, his pink hat all over the place. I hope it was a joke about Woody hosting, of course. If you take anything seriously that we say in this show, then you haven't been watching for a long time. You've inspired me to get an open water certification. I want to become a professional diver because of you. Well, thank you so much for doing that, and congrats. Pretty cool to see you here in Germany. Unfortunately, not the best time of the year to go diving anywhere. That's true. Did you film some videos here in Germany? Not yet. We just landed. I just landed like an hour ago, something like that. Why are you in Berlin? Well, I'm not in Berlin, but we're attending boat show. By the way, is it boat or boot? I don't know.
It's boat.
Okay. When I came here today, the custom asked me what am I doing here for the first time. You know, I've been asked. Typically, it's just like a stamp and go in. Yes. Okay.
I'm leaving to pick up the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
Aber ich bin
Sorry, what?
verabschiedet mich schnell.
Okay.
Essen ist um 11 Uhr schon an. Deine Mama schaltet es dann aus, wir machen kurz mal auf.
Quick interruption. Let's see. So you're in Meerbusch? I don't know what that is.
Meerbusch is a city close to I think towards Bodensee. So
What knife am I carrying on me today? Well, I'm in Germany. That would be in prison if I had a knife, so none.
just landed. It's probably not a good idea on the plane.
Check it in from Oklahoma. Yeah, shout out to Oklahoma. Did you get to the Seven Reefs? I think that's in Saudi Arabia. No, we were gonna go to, I think it called the Three Sisters, and there's also a place called Nemo's Garden, which we're supposed to hit next time. No, we didn't have a chance to dive enough. Talking about Saudi Arabia for a little bit stand number, I have no idea what the stand is for.
There is
for-
we announced it somewhere, but I have to check. But you can't miss it. I mean, if you're at the diving hall, I mean, yeah, you can't miss the Tauchernet
Yeah.
booth. So that's simple.
Just walk around until you see the line of people waiting to take a picture with Akim, and then you'll know you arrived. But no, so Saudi Arabia, amazing place. Like, we have a bunch of videos coming out on that because we recorded so much content. Like, I have hours and hours and hours of content underwater, above the water. It's just so much stuff. But I will say, kind of spoiler alert, is all the misconceptions that you have about Saudi Arabia, at least for me and for Woody, went out the window. Like, It's such an amazing place. I think people should go visit. I mean, I don't know how easy it is to get a tourist visa. I think it's probably getting a lot easier to just apply and say, I just want to be a tourist and go. We were invited by cohost, which is basically the MIT of Arabia. And we were there because they do an event every year and they ask us to join a panel discussion. So we had an official invite to go there, like official business to go there. And our visa was approved within like 5 seconds. Like we applied for it and it was easy. I don't know how easy it is if we just said we just want to go be tourists, but I tell people that if you had any concerns about like, oh, I wonder if I can rent a car when I'm there. I wonder if I can, you know, be alone when I'm like, no concerns whatsoever. The place is amazing and I can't wait to go back.
So quite a few questions coming in.
Cave diving in Germany? No, we won't be cave diving this time around.
So for yes, I am. I am the guy.
Yeah, if I ever want to get certified on the go, Akim is the guy. Yeah. So for you, Robin, since you're in Netherlands, he will be your guy. Best affordable dive watch. You know, I did a video about dive watches, and I basically on the video I said, even though I love dive watches and I own dive watches, I don't dive with watches.
Yeah.
You know, we dive with computers.
Or a bottom timer if you want to
What
stick like old school, just stepped in time.
What would you recommend for a dive watch? Do you have any like go-to affordable ones?
I mean, for diving, or you want a dive watch that you carry as a watch?
Just
That's
a
a big
dive
question
watch?
here. But
That's a good question.
I don't. I mean, I'm a watch guy, but I don't dive with a watch on my gear. So.
You know, when I learned how to fly planes, it was a couple years ago. So a lot of people don't know this, but starting in 2016, I pick like one skill every year that I try to master. Okay, so like rebreather diving was 1 year was it. But 1 year I learned I want to learn how to fly a plane. Like I don't want to be a pilot. I'm not gonna be a commercial pilot. No. I just want to know how to fly a plane. And once I did my solo, like that was it. I didn't continue and graduated and all of that. But I remember that I said when I learn how to fly a plane on myself, like take off, land, the whole thing, I'm going to buy a pilot's watch. And I remember telling my instructor about it. Mike was my instructor. And he was like, every watch I wear is a pilot watch because I'm a pilot, you know? So I feel like when it comes to diving, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. It's like if you're a diver, every watch is a diver watch. But if I had to tell people like a dive themed watch that is affordable, I think the guys at Precipice do a good job with their watch. I think it's like $500 or something like that. And what they did is they recreated the original dive watches from like the UDT, the underwater demolition teams. So it's like going back in time. It's like you're wearing a 1940s, 1930 dive watch. You can take it diving. I took it diving. You know, it's not gonna break underwater. It's like 150 meter, I think, waterproof. But it just looks cool. It's like old school classic dive watch.
What I have is a couple of Spinnackers. That's also a company. You'll find them on the internet if you Google them. And they like did the Floys recently, and they have a couple of really nice designs, and they are also affordable. They are like in the €300 range.
That's awesome. Let's see. Just came in immediately. I can tell the right guy is German. Yeah, totally German. Me. I learned how to scuba dive just so I could actually use my dive watches in the way they were intended. I'm not sure. How's the Delphin going?
That's the Submarine. Yeah, the Submarine. I'll make a video about that. There was a TV station that should be involved. That was all on hold for a year, but we are right now looking for a couple of people to join the team and actually finish this thing. So you will see it in the water this year, promised.
Nice. I don't know why Robin is asking if you speak Arabic, but do you speak Arabic?
No.
I have an Oris. If I ever have a good opportunity to go diving again, I will be using that. Yeah, the Oris was cool. They sent me one to test, and it's really cool because it has depth. On the vessel.
Somebody said Doxa, but we talked about it for affordable.
Doxa, I don't know what that is.
Doxa is the Cliff Cussler. I can't remember. There was this character in this novels, and he was always using the Doxa watch. There's this orange one. You would love it. It's perfect.
Cool.
But it's not in the affordable range. I mean, for most people.
Yeah, the same with the Oris. It's like $4,500 or something like that. It's not a cheap watch, but it's super well made. I mean, they're older than Rolex. They've been making watches for a long time. Christian, thank you so much for your super chat. You're not advice on courses. Now in my 40s, looking to return and maybe expanding to nitrox and tech. So you have any advice on courses? So he's a Norwegian diver. dived in his teens and now he's in his 40s. He wants to get back. What should he do? How do you advise that?
Well, asking me being somebody to having a training agency and being
Right.
an instructor, there's a simple answer to that. Drop me a message. Well, I mean, you need to find an instructor that really that you can click with, that has a good reputation. That's the most important thing. The agency is secondary. Find a good, respectable instructor
Yeah.
that you trust, that you feel comfortable with, that has a good reputation, and then take it from there.
Yeah, but I think what he was asking is like, if I was, so this is just general. If I dove 20 years ago and I want to get back into diving, how would I ease into it? Like, what would you say? Just work with an instructor, or do a refresher, or just go diving? Or?
Yeah, either find a mentor, somebody that you trust, that is on a very high level and that can take you. But I would, I mean, after that long period of time, so recently had somebody that wasn't diving for 17 years, and originally, but did his class with me, then was diving for a while, then had some issues, whatever. And 17 years later, he decided, I want to go back. He contacted me. We met at the lake. We did like 2 dives together, and he was back in. Actually, it is a little bit like driving a bicycle. You don't miss too much of it.
Yeah. How tight should a wetsuit be? I only tried once on a tourist dive and had to practically deadlift my PR just to get it on. So like pulling it up. Instructor said it was normal to be so tight. Well, I mean, your wetsuit, you want it to be tight because what you want is you want the full effect of the wetsuit, which is a layer of water trapped between your body and the neoprene that will heat up, and that's what provides the warmth, right? The protection. So if it's too loose, then that water will continuously flush, and then you waste the effect of the wetsuit.
So it should be like a second skin, and obviously not too tight on certain areas. So it needs to be a good fit.
Yeah. I don't know what that says.
Na, hallo, ich hätte nicht erwartet, dass ihr nach Deutschland kommt. Somebody not expecting you to be in German, but hopes you have a great stay here.
Oh, of course. What are you doing in Germany? Are you going to Butcher? Yes. Is DiveTalk Go compatible with other dive computers? So that's a good question. So the DiveTalk Go, we made it so it's compatible with a 4-pin shear water computer, which is probably, if not the most common rebreather computer, shear water wired computer, it's up there. And what we knew is that a lot of the people that were going to buy the Go that already own a rebreather would have either a 4-pin or a Fisher, depending on the age of the computer. So we decided to make it compatible with that. There's nothing special about the shear water computers that we dive other than the fact that they are 4-pin. There's no special software or whatever. Like, I know there's some manufacturers that will make a special firmware so it only works with their stuff, or you know, some manufacturers make a special computer that you have to buy from them, and it might be twice the price of shear water. We wanted ours to be more standard, if you will. However, you do dive with a backup computer, and that backup computer, I guess you could use a Garmin. Garmin has CCR mode if you want as a backup, but most people tend to stick with just one brand, so shear water is what we use.
Yeah.
The name Akim sounds Arabic. That's what they're saying.
Ah, okay. That's why he was asking. Yeah, no.
Is there a way to take classes with either you or Woody in Florida? It depends. I mean, we have taught in the past. I think about a year and a half ago, we taught a rescue class. And recently, you know, Akim was in Florida and we did the Go course. So yeah, sometimes, but we don't have much time to teach these days. So it's a possibility, but I wouldn't wait on getting certified to take a class with us. I mean, there's a ton of great instructors, much better than us. So go take it.
Does he have a channel he can follow? You mean me? Yeah, Inner Space Explorers.
Of course. You should be following that for sure. Thoughts on Draeger brand rebreathers?
Well, yeah.
Well,
that could be a video.
Yeah.
There's basically no civil Draeger rebreathers. So if you watch my channel, you've seen the video about the Draeger Law 5, which is a military oxygen rebreather. So yeah, nothing like the Go or comparable.
Yeah. What type of BMW do you drive? I guess all Germans drive BMW, this guy's saying.
No BMW in the house.
Do you guys do any meet and greet? So yeah, so not official other than the Dive Talk meetup. So we do a trip every year. If you're a diver, even a non-diver can attend as well. We get to spend a week with everyone. So this year we'll be in Roatan, and we still have like 7 rooms available or something. So if you want to come and spend a week with us, make it happen. The website is divetalkmeetup.com, by the way. Acumen.
You are my common
Yeah.
names in Germany, yes, true.
Okay. Yeah, interspace exploder. Okay. You want it to be snug, so this guy was just talking about. My Naui open water instructors taught us the bailout, aka jumping off a boat with the gear in hand, valve turn off. I guess, and then putting your gear on and stuff like that. Okay, that's a cool trick, I guess. I don't know. The interesting part about diving in Saudi Arabia is that Saudi Arabia is not developed in terms of diving. So like I didn't see personally a single dive boat. Like as people are used to dive boats in Florida or other places where they would have like tank racks and places to sit and get your gear on or whatever. All the boats that we saw were like regular boats that people go diving on. What that means is it's very uncomfortable to get ready, number one. But number two is getting back on the boat after the dive is hard. Like Woody and I wouldn't say we're athletes, or I know people watching this are like, oh, you an Olympic athlete? No, we're not. We're not Olympians, I know. But we struggle getting back on the boats because it would be like those little ladders that come from the side. Like every time I got on it with the BCD on, I'm like, I have no idea how this ladder is not breaking. Like it felt like it was going to snap in half. So I think that's something that Saudi Arabia should invest more on is actual dive boats. So Woody and I agree. We were like, there's no way that a diver in their 60s or 70s, like your average 70-year-old would be able to get back on that boat. No chance. Like, of course, there's amazing people in shape that are 70. Yes. But your average elderly diver would struggle a lot. Actually, your average just regular diver, it was hard. It was hard to get back on the boat. And I didn't have a super heavy kit. I think I had maybe like 8 kilos on me of weight plus an aluminum 8, like a regular setup, and that was hard getting on the boat. Then on the second operator that we work in, they didn't even let us do it. They're like, no, you take your gear in the water, we will get it on the boat. You just go up on the boat without gear on. They wouldn't let you do it. So I told them that you need to invest in dive boats. Can the Go be set up with a Fisher cable? Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
Not really. I heard some people have said, oh, there's a converter out there that will allow you to do 4-pin to Fisher or whatever. I've never tested it, so no. The answer is you cannot order it with a Fisher cable. We don't really make them with Fisher cable. We're sticking with 4-pin.
But there is if I may just add, there is a converter, and that works. I tried that.
Oh, it works? Okay,
But
great.
it's a piece of cable like that, which makes it actually quite long, and I wasn't happy with that.
Okay, so you could. My tourist dive was in Hurghada, Egypt, was beautiful. I plan on taking diving lessons next year. Okay, great. Where are you diving in Germany? We're mainly attending boat show. We're not diving out there. I think every body of water in Germany is frozen, probably.
You want to see that video from Gus in his 3mm suit in 40 degrees of water. That's probably what people are looking for.
Exactly, yeah. What can I do to prevent water from flushing down the back of my wetsuit? I've considered a wetsuit with an attached hood, but they feel so restrictive. Any solutions?
Well, that's the good ones, and a good fit one. Made to measure. There's a video on my channel where I'm actually talking about that because I'm super picky when it comes to wetsuits, and finding a good fitting one for me, it's always a made to measure.
Yeah.
And there's companies out there that make really, really nice ones.
Yeah. How are you liking the weather in Germany in January? I mean, apparently, according to Akim, this has been the best weather in weeks. So I'm not going to complain. Have you guys ever dived in South Africa? No, I haven't. I would love to.
Nope.
There's a mine called Cleva Gruva you can dive in. I don't know. Is that here?
I have no idea.
Everybody just keeps on recommending ISC's channel. That's great. Any recommendation for dive spots in Germany? I'm certified, but only when diving in Egypt.
Well, there's plenty of nice ones. From up north, like Hemmoor, here in the south, you have a lot of cool lakes, Walchensee, Starnberger See, etc. Not super special, but very popular for diving. There's the Müritzer Seenplatte, which is around the Berlin area. So there's plenty of spots, but that could be like a 1-hour video.
Yeah. Have or will you ever go to Sweden? So if the answer is, will you ever go to Sweden and dive? I would say, yeah, I would love to, but I have been to Sweden, not to dive, just as a tourist. Actually, I went there for work and I loved it. I love Sweden.
I was there. Diving is awesome, and I actually got an invitation last week.
I asked him when I was going there if I could dive, and they said you don't want to dive in Sweden. It's too murky, visibility is terrible. That's
Awesome
what they
wreck
told us.
diving there. Depends on where you are, but
Yeah.
really nice.
I went to Stockholm, so they were like, no. What about meetings with cave dives? So we've talked about doing like mini meetups in cave country in the US, in Florida, and just like inviting everybody to like Ginny or something, and then we can go diving. The beauty with Ginny is that if you're not a cave diver, you can still dive in the ballroom. There's still a couple of places that you can go, but you're gonna get tired pretty quickly. It's mainly really to spend time together and not so much diving. Have I dived with Susie yet? No. Speaking on that, any goes in the raffle. Raffle for what? For boat show? No. Do the reactivate and then nitrox and go from there. Somebody was answering to the guy, before. Stuttgart.
What's the dude's channel?
How do you get trained? Yeah. How do you get trained with the go in Australia? We still don't have an instructor in Australia. However, you have a recommendation, so hopefully we'll have an instructor soon there. Okay, that wasn't a question. Jetta when I was 12. Okay. Somebody's a fourth German he was talking about. I don't know what that guy's saying.
Stuttgart Schwimmbad Textilfrei. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
What you're here in Germany?
What area are you exactly? I mean,
Close
you
to
want to
Munich.
share your address?
Not necessarily. Close to
No.
Munich.
Yeah, we're near Munich, but we're gonna be moving to Dusseldorf for the boat show in a couple days.
Yes.
All right, Rishi is excited for seeing the two of his favorite dive channels collaboration together. Rishi, thank you, by the way.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for the super chat as well. Wish I could send Akim half of it. Thank you for that. Rishi's awesome, by the way. He's a rebreather diver, and he's amazing. Rishi, we should do like Rishi deserves like a movie. He's like, this guy does everything. He makes his own watches from scratch. It's like, Rishi, that's a cool watch. What is it? It's like, oh, I made it. Like, how do you, what? It's like,
Awesome.
Yeah. How do you
Awesome.
make watch? Yeah. Have you dived to hot springs in Germany?
I'm not even aware that there are some.
Oh, look, they're giving you content ideas.
Perfect. And then somebody said Zurich is awesome. Yeah, but Zurich's in Switzerland.
Oh.
But it is awesome. I actually spent most of my childhood there.
Cool. Kleva Kruva is in Sweden. Okay. How come they don't make wetsuits with a zipper in front?
They do.
Yeah, some of them, right?
Yeah.
Across or whatever.
Also up. I mean,
Yeah, but for the most part, they do it in the back. That's the most common one. Hello from Ohio. I've been to Blasting.
Blausteinsee a couple of times. Yeah, but you can't dive there unless you're part of this special cave exploration team. It's the most famous cave in Germany. It's Blautopf.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you heard ever Jochen Haselmeier, who is a famous cave diver, and he explored that, and today is another team there. Is actually quite big and quite famous, but you can't dive there.
Yeah. Have a wetsuit with a zipper in front. This guy responded. Rebreather Raffle. Can't say the word for the next event. It's getting blocked. Okay. So, I don't know what's getting blocked, but will there be rebreathers to give away at the Rebreather Raffle? I mean, I'm not going to share all the prices, but I would say, pretty sure that we'll be giving away a go at least. So 2 meetups ago, we gave away 2 rebreathers. No, we gave away a Sidewinder, just 1 rebreather. Then last year we gave away 4 rebreathers. We just went ridiculous. We gave away 1 Sidewinder, 2, and 3 goes. Mainly the goes that we were diving, like me, Woody, and Mike. We gave away those goes because, well, we didn't want to take them home. So we gave them to people, and that was awesome. We had 71 prizes, I believe, at the meetup giveaways last year. So we'll see how many we have for this year. Where are you in Germany? Where are you currently? I think maybe that was the one from earlier. I don't think a lot of people want to know where I am. I bought a Garmin MK3 and was going to buy the transmitter, but I hear it makes a continuous beep. Do you think I should still make the purchase, or should I wait for a possible fix from Garmin? So I don't think there's going to be a fix from Garmin, because the chirp from the transmitters, the Garmin transmitters, was a solution that they came up with to get over the distance limiting from the shear water and other transmitters. So the shear water transmitters is like, they're supposed to be like 3 meters or whatever, or maybe 2 meters, but that is in clear line of sight. So if you're wearing like your computer in your left, but the transmitter is like back here or something, there's a chance that it won't even go through your body and see it, and they get disconnected quite often. So Garmin decided to solve that problem by putting a chirp on the transmitter. So you're diving and it's like beep, beep, beep. That's what you hear, but it's and now you have 10 meters. So you can go up to 10 meters away from it and be fine. The chirping also allows for other stuff like communication, computer to computer communication. Yeah. And I had my first taste of that because Woody brought his Garmin and I had my Garmin, and giving Woody the ability to message you underwater was the worst idea. I mean, you guys will see it on the video, but like we will be next to each other and all of a sudden I get this message and he will be like, come to me. And like, I'll be right next to you. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it was just so annoying. I will say though, like a little spoiler alert, because I want to protect people, let's just say. Garmin sent me their newest computer, the X50i is called. It's their computer that it's like a big computer. Like it looks like a Shearwater. Horrible battery life. Like, I don't know if I had a defective one, but I talked to other people who bought it too, and they complained the same thing. They said, you know, you will go through, I don't know, 40 to 50% of the battery in one dive.
All right.
It's just dumb. It's a great computer, right? Great computer, amazing at what it does. I loved it, but man, if you have to charge the computer after every dive outing, it's just impossible. Like, no, that's not gonna work. I work in a liveaboard for extra divers.
Somebody was asking if we could say something about this dive operator. We can't.
I see. Do you two fly or drive to Dusseldorf? I would recommend driving. This way you get a little more of Germany. Yeah.
We're not driving.
We will be driving. Extra divers, but I don't know what that is. Time to ski? No, I don't know how to ski. They have a stand in Dusseldorf as well, I guess. Well, we're gonna be connecting with another booth. What do you guys think of German dive operator called extra divers?
That was the question.
I don't know. Can mods put up the link for Gus's friend's channel, please? Terry share the link below. So that's
awesome.
good.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Yeah. I don't know why it's blocking for you to say meetup. That doesn't make, it's not like an offensive word. I don't know. I asked Woody about the go with cave diving, and he said it would not be his go-to rebreather for cave diving. That's true. Can you explain? Because you guys have released videos with the go in caves. Okay, so this is, and you can chime in on this one. So when Acumen 1 came to get certified on the go, I mentioned to them that a lot of the comments that we saw online were from people saying, well, you shouldn't buy the go because it's not a cave diving rebreather, it's only for open water or something like that. And I told them that, and we all agree that the rebreather doesn't know where you are. Like, why wouldn't it work in caves but work in open? It just doesn't make any sense. So actually we did cave dives and filmed them and released them on Dive Talk with caves. I think the comment that Woody's making, and I respect that because I feel the same way, is that when the Go was designed, there wasn't a thought of this will be for cave diving. It wasn't like, if I was the ultimate cave diver, what unit would I design? And then we came up with a Go. That's not how it worked, right? It was like, if I am a diver learning how to dive, if all I do is like a 2-hour long dive in beautiful reefs, like what would be the ultimate rebreather for people like that? And the ultimate rebreather for people like that is a rebreather that is small, easy to use, lightweight. Like, those are the things that make the Go possible. But you can totally take the Go in a cave and it works just fine.
It did.
Yeah.
It was actually awesome.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as you say, it works in every environment. I mean, I took it back from Florida and started to dive here, 4 degrees water. I did a couple of dives down to 60 meters. I've used it as an oxygen rebreather in a river. So I've actually been wreck diving with it in the meantime in the Mediterranean. So, I mean, yeah, it's perfect. But as you say, I mean, not in the mind like this needs to be a cave rebreather. What is a cave rebreather? I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I would say, you know, like the Sidewinder would be a better unit for cave divers just because of the streamline, right? And to be fair, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, the Sidewinder wasn't designed for cave diving either. The Sidewinder was Mike coming up with a solution for his buddy, who's also our friend, Josh Hodling is his name. Josh is a veteran in the US. He lost both legs, like a war. And he was like, look, I need a unit that I can lay on the ground and put on. And any of these back mounted units, I cannot lay it on the ground and me lay on the ground and put it on. So Mike started thinking about like, well, is there any way I can move the back of the Spirit to the side so we can lay it on the ground and he can put it on. So it was Mike making a solution for Josh, you know, and then realizing that, wow, this is really awesome for cave diving too. So it was a byproduct. And now it's probably the most popular unit for cave diving in the world. You know, people use it for cave diving. We use it for cave diving. So that's really where the Sidewinder came from. But I would say if anyone sat down and said, look, I'm a cave explorer, I want to design the ultimate rebreather for cave exploring, I think it will look very similar to the Sidewinder. Very small, streamlined, long duration, you know, good depth rating. Like it won't be exactly the Sidewinder, but it would be pretty close to it.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add, because when I went to Florida, that was my biggest concern. If you remember, I said, I think this is going to make me bulky, like a pair of doubles on the back and then the rebreather in the front. And I was like, who will be like really fat, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest surprise. I mean, we did Peacock, the swim through, Muddy Bottom. And I mean, if you've been there or if you've seen videos, that's not like a lot of room. And it was not an issue at all. I mean, the rebreather is so small. That's basically, I would say it's still just like in your regular space. It's not like you would go so close to the ground in a regular cave dive. I'm not talking squeezing through somewhere in like inside mount. So it was not the slightest issue, and I was very positively surprised with that.
Yeah, we went DPV and it felt great. Like I mean, all the DPV dives I had done up to that time had been either on the Spirit or the Sidewinder, and then I did it with a Go, and it felt like I was in the Sidewinder. It didn't feel like anything. It just felt great. But yeah, the story about the Sidewinder that a lot of people don't know, it came from that. Josh is awesome. Yeah, he is. Because let's see, the X50i is horrible on battery. Yeah, exactly. And a few other things. Let's see, subscribe. Do you do training? I'm in UAE, need to get back in the water. I think he was asking somebody, how's the food in Germany? I guess it's awesome. I haven't had a chance to eat here yet, but this is his favorite word. He means exhaust.
Yeah.
All right.
Exhaust system, yeah.
People have their favorite word. All right, I don't know. I think we caught up with all the questions. Try to go in July. Okay, yeah. There's a couple of try dives coming up in Florida, I think, where people will be trying to go, I think, in March or February and March. So definitely sign up for that. And I hope that a lot more will come from that. Do you have a question?
Achim, is KISS Classic still your favorite rebreather? No, my favorite rebreather is the Go. No, I mean, I still have my Classic, and there is obviously certain dives that that the Classic is the more reasonable rebreather for.
Yeah.
I have a project coming up in March, which is clearly beyond the 60-meter mark, so that will be something where I use my my Classic. But if you have these two next to each other, the beauty of the Go really is its size and its weight, and it's just like go diving, grab the thing and go. So yeah, perfect name for it as well, and I really like it.
Yeah.
But the KISS Classic will stick around. From all the other rebreathers, it's still my favorite. Yes.
Oh, I want to hear your answer to this question. How much practice would you recommend before thinking about getting cave certified?
Ooh.
It's a good question.
Yeah. I think it really depends on the diver. And I mean, experience in what? I mean, I've seen people that had like 1,000 dives on the Florida Keys, and compared to somebody that has 100 dives in difficult conditions in a freshwater lake in the northern hemisphere, and these two people would have been on a total different level. I mean, just take two extremes. And obviously that's not negative on somebody diving on the Florida Keys, but I mean, just to give you an idea, right? So really hard to say. I think that's something that the potential cave instructor should look at and say,
Assess.
okay, you're ready or you're not ready.
Right.
And experience also with whom. I mean, you can get certified and then do your own thing for hundreds of dives and like really get used to doing things wrong. Also, they might
Correct.
work in that particular environment, and then somebody would come and say like, hey, we have to break all of this down and restart it again, whilst somebody doing only a small amount of dives with somebody that's really picky and like turn the screw here a little bit and adjust here a little bit, and that might be the perfect outcome. So it's really hard to come up with a number like that many
Yeah.
dives.
Yeah, and cave diving training starts with cavern diving, so a lot of that stuff will start from there, and then you'll get used to or comfortable with those skills, and then later on progress to cave. But what I typically tell people is that by the time you start your cave diving training, which starts with cavern, as I mentioned, whatever setup that you will be diving in caves should be in autopilot. So if you're diving back mount double, side mount, rebreathe, whatever, it shouldn't be in your head whatsoever, because your entire attention during that training will be consumed by all the skills you're learning to cave dive safely. So you can't just be like, wait, how do I do this again with back mount double? Like, you can't. Like that, all that stuff, you need to nail it down, be like second nature, nothing in your head, just flying in an autopilot, and then you can focus on cave diving training. That's how I think about it. So and agencies have minimum standards. Like I think for if you want to do it in a rebreather, you have to have either 100 hours or 100 dives. I don't remember. So like they will put minimum things, but ultimately the instructor decides if you're ready or not.
Yeah.
All right, what else came? I saw some questions coming in. What aspect of diving are you most passionate about, and why does it resonate with you? Nice.
For me, it's wreck diving, wreck exploration, finding something new, get a piece of history, dive into this piece of history, into this time bubble, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me the most fascinating aspect, and teaching.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, I've always said I love the process of going diving, especially for cave diving. I really, really enjoy preparing the gear, pulling out a map. What are we gonna do? Who's in the team? What's everybody's job? Especially when it comes to cave exploration, there's a lot more involved on that. Yeah. Who's doing what, how long the dives are being, what is the objective for a dive. Sometimes the dives are, let's just replace line that is there, that it was laid wrong or is falling apart or whatever. Sometimes it's let's push leads, sometimes it's let's stage tanks to push leads tomorrow. So there's always like a task, and I really enjoy that part. Are we witnessing the shift of CCRs from military and niche use to becoming more mainstream option for regular open water divers? I think this has been happening for a while.
Yeah, that was years ago that this started.
Exactly. But yeah, I think rebreathers are becoming way more common. Today I have a test dive with my instructor that wanted to evaluate my skills. I passed, and in March I'll start my Cave 1 course. That's awesome. Congrats. Been in Germany for 3 years now, and I can't wait to meet you guys at boot. Awesome. Mike, we look forward to meeting you as well. Do you run into many gators in like Florida and stuff? Not really. I mean, I've never seen one, but I've been to caves where they tell us like, hey, there could be a gator here. Hey, there could be gators there, but I've never seen them.
I've actually had gators in the water back in my time in Florida.
Yeah.
In Germany, never.
Okay. Have you heard of the compass on the Terek not functioning properly? Such a great device, but I had to buy additional compass. Very disappointed. No, I haven't heard any issues with it. As a matter of fact, I hear the opposite, where regular compasses get thrown off in like metal ships and stuff like that, and the sheer water one working all the time. I don't know who's using a compass inside a ship, but I haven't heard that. Let's see, Luminox, it's a great dive watch. Welcome to Europe. How do you get around not being able to find dive buddies? I have multiple dive buddies I used to dive with, but they don't have the same passion I do. Have you seen Coming to America? That's the movie, the Eddie Murphy movie.
No.
Oh man, you gotta see that. It's a funny movie. You do any dives in Germany, or just waiting to fly back to the US? Now we'll be going to Boot Show. For some instances of sheer water transmitters failing. Yeah, I mean, anything can fail. Sheer water, Garmin, I mean, all of them, they're electronics. Like anything fails, but sheer water has excellent customer service. So I think we caught up back to that.
We had that. There was some stuff down here. Love music.
Take to the beer house. What's your strategy when using a Drysuit heating on a tech dive? Turn it on at the beginning of the deco
No,
or at some
no,
point, at some other point?
I mean, don't turn it on at the beginning of the dive. So probably got that wrong here.
Yeah.
So I always use it as a nice to have extra for decompression, because if you switch it on before, so you have a warm dive on a cold deco, that will be counterproductive. So you switch it on when you are going to deco, and I mean, if it's working, it's good. If it's not, it doesn't harm.
So you want to use it at the end?
Yeah, as an
Okay.
additional benefit.
All right, cool. Do you two guys prefer open water cavern or cave diving?
Cave diving.
Yes. The answer is yes. I prefer all. But yeah, cave diving is awesome. What's the best way to go about starting scuba diving if you've never tried before? So the first step is go do a try scuba at your local dive shop. See if you like it, and then move on from there. What's the max depth rating and dive duration on the go? So right now, 60 meters or 200 feet if you're in feet, and 2.5 hours. What aspect of diving are you most passionate about? We answer that. What do you see as the latest, most groundbreaking technologies currently shaping cave diving or diving safety? I mean, I don't know if they're shaping. I mean, there's some groundbreaking stuff. Like a lot of people are talking about the Avelo system where you don't need, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like, it has like a pump. And as you go in and out of the water, it will like add water to the unit or remove it too.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to manage your buoyancy. So yeah, there's some technology advancements, but I don't know if they're making it safer or even make sense. All right, just finished my advanced open water in Malta. Love it. Basically normal open water, or LWA, I don't know, would be deep enough for me, but most wrecks are deeper. Nobody will get into a cave. Can you come to Switzerland with Woody? We would love to. Where are you in Germany? We're near Munich. No gators in Germany. Well, I mean, you're close here. If there were gators, it would be here in this house. Are you going to dive the birdwork?
No,
No.
that's a mine.
Okay.
Popular one. There's a video on my channel about it, actually.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen or found in a cave? I think that's it. Yeah, in cave or a river. You have way more stories about this than me.
Yeah, but I mean, except the cave itself.
That question is for you too. Have you ever discovered a wreck and were the first one to go in?
Yeah, quite a few actually. Check out my channel. There's actually quite a few stories. I think 2 years ago, the Festus story, in my opinion, is one of the coolest ones that I've done so far. So check it out. It's a long one. It's nothing I can answer here, but it's a story of a guy about 100 years ago, and I basically researched his entire multi-year travel, so to speak, and found the wreck.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never found a wreck. All the wrecks that I've dived have been, mapped, and we know where they are. But I have found pottery, ancient Mayan pottery in caves, exploring caves in Mexico. So that was cool. And bones. Let's see what else. Which kind of experience do you recommend before learning to dive the go? What do you think?
I think a solid advanced diver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you should be stable in the water and familiar with your gear. So I always compare it to somebody driving a car. I mean, you shouldn't think about like, oh, okay, I have to switch gears now and then look at the shifter.
Correct.
So it should be fluent, so to speak, and then yeah, you could start.
In autopilot. This can go in multiple directions. What is the most transformative experience you've had on the water?
Again, sorry.
What is the most transformative experience you've had on the water? Like, is there any dive where you've been and you're like, it changed something in you?
More meeting people. I mean, you know that I did my initial my introduction to cave cavern was Shikexley, and that was something that really clicked in my head. I was like, oh, there's something out there that's far bigger than whatever I've seen before. So actually a couple of people I met over the years, and I was super lucky to meet some of them, but not like a particular dive or so.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would say, every time you get to see some place that is very special, you kind of makes you appreciate all the work that you've done to get there. So I don't know if it transformed me, but it really made me appreciate the work that was done and the instructors that I've had along the way and people that I get to learn from, like Akim here. So that's always great. Are you there for the Dusseldorf Expo? Yes. What job do you recommend as a career in diving? So there's a saying in diving that says if you want to become a millionaire with a career in diving, you need to start as a billionaire.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot of money that you can make as a career in diving. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that would consider professionals, like they are dive professionals, like Akim, have other jobs.
Yeah.
They don't do that full time. It's hard to support a family and actually go diving the way we go diving with tons of gear and cool places with just career in diving. It's really hard.
But actually, I have a good friend, Aaron, whom you've seen on some of my videos, who is from Australia and was here for a couple of years, and he's back in Australia and he's working as a commercial diver, and I think he's making a decent living from that.
Yeah.
So there is places in the world where you can make decent money being
Well,
a commercial diver.
Yeah.
I mean, onshore or offshore. So that's actually a career you can look into, but
yeah,
also,
those people that do like the full saturation diving and stuff like that, they make a good living. It's sketchy though. It's super dangerous. Like they're in the middle of the sea, like doing stuff at super deep depths and.
But also onshore. So
weeks.
Aaron is doing a lot of construction work and ship inspection and stuff. So he's back on land in bed, so to speak. And I think that's great. But I think it really depends on where you are in the world.
Yeah. Who makes a good battery for Drysuit heating? Do you know? No. I don't have a Drysuit heater, so I wouldn't even know who to recommend. I think Woody really likes I think he has a Bear. I don't remember what he has, but
I don't have a Drysuit heating.
yeah. Where is Woody? Woody is in Saudi Arabia. How many dives do you recommend before starting go training? Again, we were talking about this earlier. You can have 1,000 dives if you're in the same quarry and you're just diving like a seahorse. The experience, the number of dives is not as relevant as the experience that you have and the skills that you actually have before you start training.
Yeah.
Are there any dive top meetups planned in Europe, or will it always be in the US? No, we really want to go somewhere else, but it's hard to find a resort that can fit 200 people, all inclusive, all diving. It's just really hard. If you know of any place that can host 200 people, let me know. Now, we recently started talking to somebody, I think in Philippines, and it was the same. It's like, absolutely, we can handle it, no problem. And then when we start talking to them, it's like, well, how many rooms do you have? It's like 25. Okay, bro, we told you 200 people. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, you can put 40 in every room. Like, no, no, that's not how it works. Santi, thank you, Terry, for reminding me that. The snake is suspicious. What are you talking about? Don't panic, but there's a snake behind you. Oh yeah, that's true. We have. Let me see if I can show. Can I show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they actually moved a bit.
Look at that thing. So yeah, there's a snake behind us. That's true. Good catch. Let's see. Who inspired you to start diving? Nobody really inspired me to start diving. I was going to Iceland for a trip, and I searched for things to do in Iceland. And number one was go diving. So I got certified. How about you?
Scary story. I started diving when I was 7 years old because I was run over by a boat. And the guy who ran me over was the boat, then to compensate for
running you over,
for running me over, basically gave me my first lesson. That was when I was 7 years old. When I was 16, I did my first certification, and I had more than 1,000 dives already.
Are there any super cool caves in Germany?
No.
Okay. What booth are you going to be at Dusseldorf?
Tauchernet.
Okay. However you spell that. Yep. You remember from the last live stream, boat show is pronounced more like boat show. Okay, that's true. What are you doing this weird accent? That's funny. So we want to take the meetup somewhere else, but we just haven't found the right place. How many hours approximately for the Go certification course? It depends also on your level. Like if you're doing a crossover, your certification will be shorter because you already know how to dive rebreathers. So it really depends. There's minimum hour requirements, but there's no maximum. So you can, depending on your skills, your instructor will decide if you need more time or not. But I would say just like book a solid week. If you're not a rebreather diver, just a week training. Diving rebreathers is no joke. Greetings from, I guess, Czech Republic. Have you tried German beer? Yeah, last time I was here.
Scary story. I don't know.
Scary story from. We get this question a lot. It's like, is there any scary stories from cave dives or whatever? And it's like, even though I've had emergencies, I'm sure you have too. You just default to your level of training and get out of there. It's not scary. It's just like, okay, things didn't work that day, and you just got out. Any favorite animals you like to encounter on dives? Hello from Tampa. I mean, there are animals that are like in my bucket list that I haven't seen. Like a thresher shark would be amazing to see, but just sharks are cool.
Yeah, me too.
Have you had any close calls or near tragedies on a dive, and how do you adapt and come out of it safely? So I talked about I would say my closest call was the Roaring River in Missouri. I made a video about this. The whole video wasn't just about that incident. It was about our diving at this cave at Roaring River. But long story short, it was a cave exploration. And in cave exploration trips, you have a job, like you have a task. And my job was a deep safety diver. When the divers were coming out at 60 meters, I was supposed to meet them because there's a restriction at 60 meters, a little bit, it's like 63. I was supposed to meet them and then help them to the first deco stop, and whatever, like be safety diver just in case if they needed anything. So I describe how I had routed the diluent. Instead of being my trimix, it was on air. So I was at 60 something meters on air, and I was like outer body experience. By the way, the danger of that is that I was narked, and that if I had an emergency, it would have been hard to troubleshoot and react to it. Yeah. But it wasn't danger from the point of like I was too deep on air. The maximum operating depth of air is more than 60 something meters. So 66. I was 66. So I was close to it, maximum operating depth, but it wasn't that I was going to tox out. It was more like, had I had a real emergency at that level, with the level of nitrogen narcosis I had, I think it could have gone bad. Luckily, nothing failed. My rebreather was great. But then looking back at it, it was like, that was pretty dumb that I was on air that deep. 60 something meters on air. It's just dumb. I don't know if you want to share one of yours. Close calls. Who makes the Fisher to 4-pin cable converter, and where can I order one?
There is I don't know, internationally in Germany, there's a company called TechMe, so TECME, and he's having one in his store, in his online store.
I have no idea. This is a you question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate diving at
Kreidesee Hemmoor? Oh, God. I mean, it's a cool place. The visibility usually is good. It's 50 meters deep. There's a lot of stuff in there, a boat, a plane, truck, whatever. There's a building on the at 40 meters, something. So I mean, if you're there, it's a great place to visit. But I mean, if you've done a couple of dives, you've seen it. And I mean, obviously, if you live in the area, for the people that live in the area, it's a great place to go and dive and train and whatever. So I've been teaching there quite a lot. But I wouldn't drive 8 hours to Hamburg to go diving in Hemmoor.
Yeah, they want you to talk a little bit more about the Delphin.
Yeah, it's a one-man submarine from 1963. There's only one left, which sits in the German Museum in Munich. And I found an empty hull of it, and I started to put it back to life. So basically reconstructing it completely. It's quite a bit of a pain. And I started sharing videos about it. And then came this TV station and said, we need to make a series out of this. This is so cool. And they basically hold me back for a year. Like, yeah, we come and film, but they never did, these clowns. And so I told them, like, okay, I'm not waiting any more long, because we couldn't start working on it again because they said, well, we need to film this, which, yeah, it never happened. So I'm actually just gathering a couple of people now, and then we start working on it again. So it will be ready to go in the water this year for a test dive.
Wow.
And then it will be part of the museum.
That's awesome.
Mine.
Do you recommend? He has a badass museum here at this house, so it's awesome. Do you recommend diving with Brian Kaycock in Albaco? I mean, 1,000%, 10,000%. How many days should I plan there? It's unlimited. So if you go there for a month, he will take you to a different place every day. I mean, it's how much can you afford and take off? I would say a week would be my recommendation at least. But I know that people have been there for less than that, 3 days, 4 days, and they love it. But I think you would be disappointed that you didn't stay longer. So I would say if you can squeeze a week, do it. However, Brian sells out or books very quickly, so sometimes it's very hard to get a whole week to dive with Brian. But yeah, the crystal caves in Abaco are unbelievable. You guys, close calls, okay. Must be a scary story. So they're talking about the close call you didn't share. So they're like, it must be super scary.
Yeah.
So yep, it's scary. Okay, you know an inexperienced recreational diver and he goes for a deco dive with an instructor friend without even knowing what deco is. The instructor tells him, I'll show you underwater. What?
Oh, awesome. Talking about close calls.
Oh, I gotta find the 2 out of 2. I lost. That was just the first message. I don't know if I have the 2 out of 2. I think I lost it. There's so many messages coming in. If I find it, we'll finish reading that. But that sounds horrific. I'm writing a short story about diving. Are there any good stories, fact or fiction, I could use as inspiration? I mean, I don't know. Just there's a lot on Google if you search for that. Lake Constance worth it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the biggest lake in Germany. Usually can be quite clear. A couple of amazing wall dives. There's a nice wreck dive there. Yeah, it's not bad.
Backplate or side mount? They're asking.
Backplate.
Of course.
Which doesn't mean I'm not diving sound. For me, it's a tool. If it makes sense for the dive, I go. But I mean, usually, I mean, if there's a chance taking this or that, then I'll go for the back mount.
Yeah, thanks, Hanny, for the shout out on the Go course. So yeah, I mean, yesterday I was talking to, we had a few people that got recently certified on side mount, and they're like, why do you dive back on those? Like, what's the point? It's super heavy. It's on your back or whatever. I'm like, I mean, besides the fact that if one of your first stages breaks, you still have access to both tanks. Like, that is a pretty awesome, you know, advantage to have with back on doubles where they're both connected. I mean, it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be switching regulators back and forward, you know?
Yeah, that's actually, I made a video about this as well because people were asking me, and this it's heavy and it's good, better for your back, etc. If I am at Walchensee, which is a place here, and I mean, going from the parking spot to the water is actually, you have to climb down some really steep, well, stairs. It's not real stairs, it's more natural. I always prefer to have like a backpack. I have my double 12 on my back, my hands free, everything, then carrying down single tanks to go side mount, and then in a surf, in a swell, getting all my stuff on myself. And so that for me, it's a way more back-friendly way of carrying that weight down there and just go in, get my fins on and dive instead of getting it piece by piece.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we've been at it for an hour and 2 minutes. Let's see if we can get one more good question. Akim has really good videos and fundamentals. Definitely recommend. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, so they're saying you've saved so many lives by sharing the information on your videos.
Thank you very much. Hope so. If it's
Yeah.
only one, it's worth it.
Exactly. Any comments, by the way, on the video we recorded for your channel? What was it about? Oh, the using a third of the store or whatever. I don't know if that came up or what comments came out of that, but
Yeah, it was a
that's
funny
good
one.
Does weight impact diving capabilities? All right, let's just end with that. I mean, obviously, I think people should be in enough shape to go diving. I don't think you have to be an amazing athlete like Akim here to go diving. But yeah, I mean, it will impact you. You know, I've lost some weight, obviously, over the last couple of years or whatnot. I don't think that has affected me tremendously in terms of like the dives I can do. When 2 years ago, I was cave diving, I was doing whatever, but I obviously feel a lot better. I don't know if it has affected, like I was worried that it was going to affect, it's not a good enough reason not to lose the weight and get in shape. I was worried that it was going to affect like my cold water advantage, let's just say, my thermal protection, since I had all that bioprene, as I call it. But no, I don't really feel too much of an effect on that. I don't really see a huge advantage. Here's the thing, like, because my weight loss has been taking place for over 2 years now, it's hard to say if the diving is now better because of that or because I've just become a better diver over 2 years. You know, it's just hard to say. You can't say like my sack rate, my air consumption has improved, but I think if you didn't gain a single kilo, if you keep diving often for 2 years, you will improve too. So has it affected? Maybe, but I think also all the experience has affected it too. So it's really hard to say. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I honestly, and I'm a lucky one. I never really changed weight, so I can still wear the same stuff that I wore 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Food allergy actually helps to stay in shape. I can
That's right.
can recommend that. But when I get this question a lot also from students, and we always say you need to be fit enough to handle the gear that you want to dive in every situation. Means also going back up a boat, or I mean in a like the lakes here, you sometimes have to climb up a little bit, stuff like that. And if you can't do that, then, and obviously the fitness requirements for the dive itself. I mean, if I take you for a dive class and you can't keep up swimming with me or something like that, well, then obviously we need to talk about fitness level, which does not necessarily mean body weight, etc. So it's a complex theme. But I mean, obviously you should be healthy and fit and in reasonable good shape to start scuba diving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, it helps to be in shape, just like it helps not to be a smoker, just like it helps if you're not hammering, 100 beers the night before you go diving. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to help you, and I think being in shape really helps.
That's one of the items there. Yeah.
That's the alarm to
yeah,
get
maybe.
up. I was gonna add something else. I don't remember now what it was, but I saw a comment come through. But yeah, have a great time in Germany. Thank you. Yep. What's going on with Woody? Yeah, he's not here. He'll be back on the show. Oh, I was gonna say, I remember now. So 2 years ago, or 2 meetups ago, Doug Eversole, who's a doctor, great diving instructor and academic instructor trainer, Doug did a presentation about fitness in diving, and he posted this thing with a test for fitness levels. Mm-hmm. He basically says, if you're a recreational diver, you should be able to do this, and he has like some exercises that you should do. And then if you're a tech diver, you should be able to do that. And he goes all the way to like cave diving instructor. Like if you're going to be a cave diving instructor and like pulling people out of caves and all this stuff, here's the stuff you should be able to do. So it's like a fitness test. And we always thought about doing it, me and Woody doing it and recording it for Dive Talk. I just know if people will watch us just exercising. Like
I think people would.
It just sounds like such a ridiculous video that nobody would watch. But we thought about like, are we fit enough to even be cave divers? Like that's kind of the title of the video.
Is this available somewhere?
Yeah, I can get it for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a fitness test, so I say we do it. And like, I mean, if the answer is no, then obviously I need to work in my fitness. But I think it will be cool.
I would be in for that as well, because I mean, we are public and we promote this, so it's actually I would be all in seeing if I can do that. And
everyone can do it. Everyone can, like, if you're thinking about like I want to be a cave diver, well, are you physically strong and fit enough to be a cave diver? But I know it involves like a treadmill. Like you have to walk like this speed for this incline for like 50 minutes straight. Like, can you do that? Or like 2 minutes in, are you like dead? Then okay, you probably are not in good enough shape. So anyway. It would be
people saying we would watch that. That's good.
Yeah, and maybe we do it with you, Akim. The three of us. Let's find a gym in Dusseldorf and just do it. Like no preparation. Just like if somebody came and invited me to go cave diving right now, I'd be like, where? Let's go. I don't need to train for 3 months to pass the test. Like that's not the purpose of the test. The test is, am I fit enough right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Not 3 months from now after training with a personal trainer.
It's a great idea.
So I think that would be cool. But yeah, I'm gonna get the information on that. Okay, so I think we should just close it. This won't be the last live stream that we're gonna do this week. I mean, we're the whole week together, so expect another one. We just can't plan for it. It's one of those that it's like, okay, what do we do for the next hour while dinner is being cooked? Let's just go live and answer some questions. So yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. Just answer this one really quick.
Have you been diving in the Baltic? Yes. Actually, you've been wreck diving in Sweden in front of Öland, the so-called U-boat massacre. and I loved it, and I really want to go back. And actually, somebody recently asked me if I would want to come to Sweden and do training and stuff, and
Yes.
I would love to. I love Sweden.
That's awesome. So he also said you're an inspiration for him to become a diver, and also
Thank
to
you very
me
much.
and tons of people out there. So please, guys, go and check Inner Space Explorers, Akim's channel. I don't know if there's thousands, but definitely hundreds of videos and tips in there. So if you're a diver, you have to check it out. Subscribe and watch every video. It's always a great conversation and
Thank you very much.
great techniques. So we'll see you then. Thank you guys for
See you
tuning in.
there. See you at boat. Bye bye.
See if I figure out how to end this right here on the X.